everybody, it's Romania Black, and this feels super weird recording because I am about to read the very last chapter of Given. So if you've been out of the loop, if you've not been keeping up with the manga for Given, at the time we have approximately, I think the 9th or 10th volume is going to be in the works. I know that volume 7 and 8 are out right now. I have them back there. I have volume 8 in Japanese. I don't have volume 7 or 8 in English yet, and they're working on volume 9. It feels weird because I've always felt like KIZU really likes the number 10, so maybe there'll be a 10th volume of Given. I'm sure you all in the comments will tell me whether or not. I've not kept track with how many volumes of Given there's going to be a total, but when it was announced, it was so bizarre. It just came out of nowhere because I'd been keeping up with the manga on my own time, and we've been talking about it in the Discord as chapters came out. I did like one moment where we talked about spoilers simultaneously in like a voice channel, and there was another night where we were talking about spoilers like with people on Patreon through the Discord. And so I've been keeping up with the manga, but it's been very weird because a few months ago it was announced that this was going to be chapter 51 was going to be the last chapter. I guess it is volume 9, the very last chapter of volume 9 that it was going to be forgiven. And it feels weird. It doesn't feel like it should be the ending, right? And they've announced that they're going to be doing a movie, which is great. I'm all about it, but I feel like there should be like one more volume or like an epilogue chapter or an epilogue volume. Like 9 volumes is an odd number. We need it to be even, KIZU. Make a 10th volume with like an epilogue showing what everybody's doing, right? If HaiQ can do it, you can do it. So I just feel like there needs to be one more volume to make it an even 10. 9 volumes feels weird to me, right? So I feel like there needs to be like one more volume of like an epilogue of what everybody does like 10 years later. Like cut to 10 years later, what they're doing. Show us adult Mafiu and adult Uenoyama doing adult things. Come on. Because yeah, we've had all these different couples in Given where you've had Haruki and Akihiko being the couple that's had a lot of problems, like the toxicity with Ugetsu involved. And so you've had them dealing with like, I always felt like you had Uenoyama and Mafiu are like the innocent couple where Mafiu's coming off of losing Yuki. Then you have Hiragi and Shizu who are kind of like the hot, horny teenagers, like just getting it on, right? And then you have Akihiko and Haruki who are the adult pairing that have to deal with like adult situations like toxic relationships and jobs and things and all of that getting in the way. And so I like that KIZU's given us 3 distinct pairs to follow, but we've seen Hiragi and Shizu have their moment. We've seen Haruki and Akihiko have their moment. I'm like, we've not really seen Uenoyama and Mafiu have their moment. So I'm like, why are you stopping now? So I'm like, are they going to talk it out? Is Mafiu going to tell Uenoyama more about Yuki since he performed the song for him? Like, I just feel like KIZU needs to do one more volume to just, even if it was just about Uenoyama and Mafiu and had cameos from the others, to have them talk it out and be adults. So maybe they'll decide to do that. Maybe she'll decide to do that down the road. I don't know. I am happy we're getting a movie. I'm really excited about that. Any Given content is great Given content because Given was one of the first shows I ever watched on this channel, and I love this series so much. And I've not found the frame yet for my Given poster. It's going to go up there. I just have to find the right frame, and frames are expensive, and finding the right one to fit has been challenging, but I am going to get to that point. But yeah, it's kind of like bittersweet, and I told everyone in the Discord I've avoided all spoilers from Given at this point from the last chapter because I'm like, I haven't even cracked this open. I have not even cracked this open. Woosh and Sweetbean got me a copy of Cherry that has the final chapter in it. I haven't opened it in months. It's sat here on my desk patiently waiting for an online transcription and fan translation so I could do a reaction to it because I felt like it was necessary. So this is just sat here waiting for me to look at it, and I have not yet. So it's been torture, to say the least. But I've held out until Mangago got a translation of it. I've been holding out on it so that you all can see me react to this. But yeah, it feels surreal, and I kind of have felt I've had that feeling like with other series where the series have been ending or seeming to be ending, where I don't want to watch or read the last thing because then it seems like it's final. But the good thing with Given is I know this is not the end of Given. We still have the movie to do, and I'm very, very, very crossing my fingers and hopeful that KIZU will give us a little bit more after this, that maybe they'll give us more, but I don't know. So I have no clue what to expect from this volume other than that it is 50 pages. It's a 50-page chapter. So I'm all about that. But yeah, I don't know what to expect at all. I feel like, what can you do to sum up this entire series in a chapter? Because we just got off the concert. And in hindsight, the concert is a great... I thought it was just the ending of an arc, right? Because I thought the concert was a great way to end in the arc, where Mafiu was able to understand Uenoyama's feelings towards him and about Yuki by playing the song that Yuki wrote, and that it reached him, and Mafiu came to the realization that he does want to keep making music with Uenoyama forever, so they want to keep being a thing. But we didn't get Given's debut, all of that, so I'm like, are we going to get that in this chapter? What are we going to do with it? It just felt like, it did feel like the end of an arc last chapter, but I thought it was going to keep going, and we were going to get like Mafiu and Uenoyama having the aftermath and the communication, which I guess we're going to get in this chapter, but it's just been very weird. So I felt like it just came out of nowhere, and I was like, why are you doing this, KIZU? But KIZU has the reasons, and I'm sure she's been planning this for a while, so I appreciate an author going out on their terms, but at the same time, I feel like there's so much left unsaid, but maybe we'll see what happens in this chapter and what we get. So I'm delaying the inevitable, but I'm going to have a link down below to see my reaction since I want to show you all in full. But and then we'll come back and talk about the chapter as we go. But I can't believe this is the last chapter, y'all. It's not the last thing I'll ever react to for Given, though, because we still have the movie, which is encouraging. Then I'll be sad. But we're going to start the read-through of Given chapter 51 and go to from there. And we're going to start that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. How dare you? Oh my God. Oh, y'all. Damn it. Are you joking? Oh, now where was it? Yep. Oh, and here it is. First chapter right there in the blue. I figured it'd be one of the first chapters because it's the issue. I love seeing it in the blue ink. That's great. Oh. And seeing all these moments. Oh, this is so cute. Yes. And then, yeah. Ha! Oh my God. Oh. And he's the one that proposed it. See, we were always saying that Mafiu would be the one to take charge in the relationship with Uenoyama, unlike Yuki and him. Now, KIZU! You have to do at least another vault. You have to do something. You have to do a one-shot. You can't just tease us with that at the very end and then expect it to be okay. You can't do that to us. We waited all this time to get something out of these two, and you're not going to give us anything other than their wholesomeness? Man. It feels like a final chapter. It does. It's all set up and everything like it does. There's so much like just silence and quiet. But the thing about it is, I feel like some people might assume that the silence and quiet was dead space. But I don't think that was it. I think that it's more along the lines of going back to Mafiu traveling from place to place and how Mafiu processes memories and time and space is him viewing all of those different locations and taking in everything quietly. Like it felt like back when he was trying to figure out the lyrics to that first song, him soaking up everything that was happening. And I love the little date between Uenoyama and him. Like that was so cute. And to see Mafiu expressive, like in this chapter, because even on the cover, right? Even on the cover where it's just him looking so happy. Like, we went through how many volumes and how many chapters and an entire season of anime where he wasn't showing these emotions because he didn't feel like he had them within him. He was like, oh, I don't laugh and cry like other people. And then here you see him laughing and tearing up, and it's, you just see him like back to the way he's maybe always been. He's just been repressing it. It's like, ugh. But yeah, I love that poster of all of them. Now, there's somebody in the foreground there in front of Ugetsu that we don't see a picture of, and we assume it's Yuki, right? And then just everything about this chapter, it just felt like a nice little resolution, but it left me so hungry for more. Like, I wanted like Haruki and Akihiko to have like a moment. I wanted Shizu and Hiragi, although the Hiragi stuff was great. I was like, oh my god, like him taunting Mafiu. Oh, I loved it. But I wanted more with each of the pairings, and so I'm like, what I need KIZU to do is just create one more volume, round it out at 10. 9 volumes is not going to work. Round it out at 10 volumes, and just have like a set of, like, have an extended chapter for each pairing, showing them, like, just make it not safe for work. Give us an epilogue, right? Give us a volume-long epilogue. Give us the epilogue with Hiragi and Shizu. I'm telling you, do it 10 years later. Give us 10 years later Hiragi and Shizu, like they did with the, like KIZU did with the spread of all of them 10 years later. I want that. I want a 10 years later volume. See what happened to Ugetsu, what's happened with Shizu and Hiragi, see Akihiko and Haruki, and see Mafiu and Ueniyama finally getting down to business as they should. I need that in my life. So KIZU, if you could just take your time, no rush, we'll wait. Work on that 10th volume. That's just the big epilogue, the 10-year later epilogue. See, it'd be volume 10, 10 years later, 10 years of Given. I don't think that that's a lot to ask. Even if it was just an epilogue chapter that had pages of each of them, I'd take that. It left me hungry for more, right? It leaves me wanting more. That's what this chapter did. It very much did feel like a final chapter. And everybody graduated, which felt very final. I liked that at the end of everything that the one girl, that she ended up buying the CD, right? I loved that. I loved that she had originally been almost kind of jealous of Mafiu, or Mafiu had been jealous of her, and she'd also like been the one to kind of out Mafiu and kind of pin him as being gay, and then at the very end, or she had been the one that had told, the other friend from middle school, the girl with the dark hair, she'd been the one that kind of out Mafiu to her. But then for her to like be the one to confront Ueniyama saying Mafiu is dangerous back in season 1 of the anime, and then for her in this chapter to be like buying a CD from him and realizing how wrong she was, that was really cool. But yeah, our guys, they get to like debut as a band, and Ueniyama decides that he's going to go to university. And I love that Yayoi, I love that she's just like, yeah, just go do it. You can be in a band. It reminded me of, I was going to say in the reaction, it reminded me of Daokusei, because in Daokusei, the main character in there's 2 main characters in Daokusei, classmates, and one, Rahito, he's a student that's off and away, and the other one, he is trying to be a musician, and so he doesn't go to school, he just does the musician gig and has a job. But I like that Ueniyama is like, no, I can do both. I can be in the university and be in the band. So I like that. I like these like getting a follow-up plan, right? I love we get to see Take-chan, even though it's just one panel of it. I'm like, was he not with Yayoi? Are they still together? But Mafiu deciding to sing and play the music. And what got me was that when he was with Yuki on the beach was like, you're going to forget about all these moments and you're going to forget about us. And that's what Mafiu's been afraid of in moving forward with Ueniyama, is that he's been afraid of losing Yuki, that he will lose that memory of his first love if he moves on and is happy with someone else. And I love that the conclusion he comes to from the concert is, no, Yuki lives on through the music with me. I can always listen to his music and feel him there. And that's how I connect. And that's when Mafiu makes the realization that if I keep making music, I can keep writing songs about memories and about this love that I have, so that even if down the road I forget about this one day when Iyama and I went to the beach, I'll always have the music to remind me how much I love him. And I was like, that's the answer. That's the solution to the beach question. Because Yuki was like, you'll always forget. And back then, what's so beautiful about it is back then, Ueneyama wasn't making music. So yeah, he probably was going to forget about those moments. But then it's through Ueneyama getting him into the band, getting him into singing, that allowed him to find an outlet for his emotions and a way to solve the conundrum that had been plaguing him this entire series. The idea of, I'm going to forget things in my life. But because of Ueneyama, it got him to sing and got him to make music. And it's just like such a big revelation moment that's just like eureka. It's like, no, that's the answer to everything. So I love that KIZU gave us that. I love that that was given to us. It was given to us as the audience, right? Pun intended, that we got to actually have that moment with them and to see Mafiu come to that realization. It felt very final, and I loved that about it. But Hiragi, all the different images of the Pomeranians in the background, but Hiragi being like, well, we actually still need Ueneyama to help be our supporting guitarist because we haven't found a guitarist yet to replace him, so we're gonna have to borrow him. And I love that Mafiu gets so emotional where he's like, you can't just take him. And Hiragi's like, well, then be a rival band for us. If you want him, keep making better music to keep him coming back to you. Like as if it's a challenge. I'm like, what is this? What is this Mafiu and Hiragi challenge? And Ueneyama's just sitting here like, I don't know what to do. I love, he's like, if you hate it that much, keep making music good enough to get him back from us. Oh, that grin. Oh, Hiragi's grin. Oh my God. I love it so much. And I love that Shizu's just like, sorry for the loudness. Sorry for the racket. We just came to cheer you on. And Akihiko and Haruki are like, what? Cheer us on? The one thing I didn't like about this chapter, if I had any doubts, is that we didn't get hardly any Akihiko and Haruki. And I know that it's Mafiu's story. So, but I kind of wanted more with them in this chapter. So again, KIZU, just write that epilogue for us. Give us something else with them. Oh my God, he's like, we're going to go hang out. I like that Akihiko and Haruki are like, we're going to go make out in the corner over here. You guys go home. You got school tomorrow. I love that Mafiu's tattered and like Ueneyama's like cold and they're about to both pass out. And they're like, you guys are still students, so stay wholesome and hurry home. And they're very wholesome. That is the thing. Mafiu and Ueneyama, they are the most wholesome BL couple I think I've ever encountered. They are so wholesome to a fault. And I wanted to see them like get their moments so that when Mafiu's like, let's have sex, and Ueneyama was like, what? Then I'm like, you're not going to show us? We waited all this time? Not that I want to see them defiled like Hiragi and Shizu, but we waited all this time. I'm like, that's such a damn tease. Such a tease. But I need an epilogue chapter of them to build it back up. I like that Hiragi says, I made it. It's seriously amazing. Might grab myself. I guess he made it to the debut. For a second, I thought he meant he made the CD. And I was like, what? And then I like that Kasai, they're like, you seem to get along well with Mafiu now. And she's like, we're not really on good terms. Maybe we're a little hostile towards each other, but then everything changed. That something so insignificant changed everything. And that insignificant thing was Mafiu at the locker and her giving him advice on getting with Ueneyama. Like that moment she helped him connect with Ueneyama changed everything. When he realized that she wasn't against him, she was a friend trying to help. I'm like, girl, it's just so good, right? People are an enigma. And I love the idea of how she explains that people hurt each other, they encourage each other, but everybody is broadly speaking connected. And I love the idea that the music connects us even more, right? So we get graduation. A lot of these shots are very atmospheric and they feel kind of like end of chapter like shots where you have the classroom where we've seen them all hanging out with. We've seen all the shots by the window of the plane flying by, all that. We see the infamous staircase where it all began, like where Mafiu and Ueneyama first met. And then I love the idea of the three boys like graduating. They all have their diplomas and they can't smile properly. It's hilarious, right? And they're like, what the hell? Why can't you guys smile? And so then we find out that Ueki is going to a university. So is Ueniyama, even though he's still going to be in a band. And Ataya is going to play for soccer. I want Ataya, give Ataya a spinoff series, KIZU, where he goes to play soccer and is in a sports anime. Let him have it, right? I love it. And now, is the girl with dark hair, is she dating Ataya because she's crying too in that moment? And then Mafiu, who is disaster number 2, is surrounded by all these girls that went to his concert. And see, then we have Katai and him taking a photo together. It's really sweet. And then they all go their separate ways and Mafiu has his diploma. I love that shot with the sunlight shining on him, but him just like being his authentic self. It's so beautiful. I love it so much. And then like Ueniyama taps him with the diploma, like, come on, let's go before the sun sets. We can't be out after dark. Haruki and Akihiko will be mad at us. But then they go on their date, right? And they go visit and they like look around. I love that Mafiu's face when he gets the sword is so freaking cute. I love it so much. And him getting the ice cream. What's so fascinating is that in the date with Yuki, it was all very sensual and very intimate, but we didn't see Mafiu like this, right? We didn't see him like this. And a part of that could be that what we were seeing was just like the one date before things went awry. And it was just this one moment, right? Maybe him and Yuki had moments where Mafiu was this animated before. We don't know. But what we do know is that we see him this animated with Ueniyama. And it's so good. I love it so much. I love him with the ice cream. And he holds out the ice cream and Ueniyama says, no, I wanted Ueniyama to like lick the ice cream. But these two boys are the most wholesome things since sliced bread. It's like, what? And even Mafiu like looks over kind of sensually at Ueniyama and he's just like, Ueniyama is like best boy. He's just the most wholesome. It's ridiculous. And then they're on the beach, right? And he's like, I'm so full. And then he goes and takes the skewers to the trash can. And while he's gone, like Mafiu, of course, spaces out because that's his thing. And he gets a call from France, and it's Ugetsu. He's got that long-distance phone call. Ugetsu looks so good. Very proud of him. He looks like he's in good health, and he's getting ready for a concert. I love it. But I love that Mafiu... I love the friendship that Ugetsu and Mafiu form. It's so unexpected and wonderful. And I like the idea that Ugetsu was never... I like that he's not a villain in this series. There really is no bad guy. Even Katai and them, none of them are really bad guys. They're just people, right? It's so realistic that way. But even though Ugetsu and Akihiko had a toxic relationship, it doesn't make Ugetsu a bad person. And I love that Mafiu realizes that. And because Mafiu knows that, you know, you can be in a relationship with somebody and it not go well, but it's okay. You're still going to be all right at the end of it, right? He knows that from experience. So I love the idea of him and Ugetsu keeping up with one another and that he's still scared, but the person I thought I'd never be able to meet again exists within music. And he found that through Ueniyama. And he's like, as long as there's music, the memories of mine will exist within it and I won't ever forget. He's like, I can listen to that song and always remember Yuki. Like, I'll never forget him even if I move forward. And I like that Ugetsu kind of has that sort of thing like, yeah, I figured you'd figure that out. And I like that he looks back on Ugetsu's memory saying that nothing will remain. And Ugetsu's like, oh, I was in a bad place when I said that. And that's when Mafiu's like, no, you do exist within music, Ugetsu-san. So you're not going to be forgotten either. And I love that Ugetsu's like, he just kind of like has that soft look and Mafiu's like, that's how music works. And he has the violin. Oh, I love it. And just the big thank you as Ueniyama comes back. There's so much quiet in these panels. And like I said, I know some people will probably complain and be like, oh, KIZU could have gotten more stuff in these pages than just the landscape shots or whatever. But I love that because that fits Mafiu really well, right? It fits him so well. And then Ueniyama coming back. I do love that he gives him the kiss. He gives him a little kiss, like when he stares at him. He's like, I may forget this moment, but I'm going to keep making music so that I don't forget about my feelings for him. Oh. And then I love the parallel at the very end where they're going back on the train ride and it's paralleling the ride on the train like him and Yuki made. And he's realizing like he doesn't want this trip to end because everything's so warm. And what's interesting is that in this moment he says everything's warm and pleasant and that Ueneyama is just right there beside him asleep. But then when you think back on the day they went to the beach, it was cold. And so it's like the polar opposite. I love it. I love it so much. I wished everything remained this way. But the thing of it is, it can't. Time moves forward and things can't remain the same. But that's why Mafiu will make music so that he can remember these moments like these and he can transform these memories into lyrics to sing as songs. I love it. And then we get the sound of the train and he wakes up Ueneyama-kun saying we're going to arrive soon. He's like, hey, so... And then there's the sparkles. Let's have sex when we get back. And he's like, what? And I was like, oh my God. And I can't believe they ended it there. Can't believe they ended it there. How dare, KIZU? How dare? How dare you? It was just so beautiful. I loved Mafiu coming out of his shell in these last several chapters. I love Ueneyama being able to give Mafiu the memory of Yuki through song. I love Mafiu coming to this revelation that ties everything together and shows how he can keep the memory of those he loves alive and not be afraid of moving forward in the future. I love that. And I love that everything tied together really well, but damn, I'm greedy. And I still want more. I'm so excited we're getting that movie. You best believe I'm going to be watching it when it comes out. When it's got that English track, I'm going to be all over it. So, we've got so long to wait, though. So, in the meantime, I'm definitely probably going to get volume 7 and 8 in English to put on the shelf so I can reread, and wait for the inevitable movie. But my fingers are crossed that maybe KIZU will make something else. So I don't know. If you all have heard any announcements, you let me know because I definitely welcome any new Given content anytime we get a chance to get it. But this was so good. Worth the wait. It was worth the wait. But dang, you end like that, KIZU. What a tease. What a tease. Come on. I guess now I'll just have to read fan fiction and just live with that. So, yeah. I'm really excited, though. I'm excited for the future Given material that we know we're going to get and to watch it down the road. And I'm excited for the anime-only people to get to that. It's going to be a wild ride, especially the Hiragi stuff. Woo! But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And Akihiko and Haruki having their moment that Ueneyama interrupts. Whew! Ready for that, too. So I'm very curious to know your thoughts down below, what you all thought of this final chapter. It was really good, but now my watch begins. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, I'll be back at some point with more Given. Bye.